G'day, welcome back to another episode of Togl. Well, today, hanging out with my good friend Neil again, and we're back on the road. We're heading back up into the Central Highlands again to go and get another deer. This time it's Neil's turn to get one. So I thought we'd bring you along for this, and I'm going to be cameraman, Neil's going to be the shooter, and we'll see if we can't get another one, and I might be able to get some better footage of this whole process for you. So sit back, hang in there, we'll see how we go. Well, it is a very wet day. So yeah, wearing all the wet weather gear, but the good thing about the wet weather is that it muffles our sound, so it means we can sneak through the bush a bit better, but it does also make deer harder to find. And it's getting heavier. Anyway, we are going to start heading off through that bush behind us. It's gorgeous bush. Like, it really is exhilarating being out here in the bush in this sort of weather. I do enjoy it. So it's not particularly cold, it's just wet. So yeah, time to start trekking through the bush there, and we'll see how we go. Look at all them. There's a buck right there in the crosshairs. That is what you call a target-rich environment. And they're wild, but they're just out on this farmer's paddock. They'll run up into that bush later on tonight. Yes. Okay. Walking through that bush. Within a couple of minutes it started raining really hard, so we had to bug out. But I have seen some in a paddock. We've spoken with the farmer. He said we can come across, see if we can't get them. So we're going to walk over, see if we can't get one of these. They're just right on the tree line. They're probably just starting to come out for the night feed. Here's old mate, just going to cross a creek. As you can see, the creek's pretty good. Alright. We're just getting to the crest of the hill. Thankfully the wind's in our face, which is perfect. Spotted him. That big group's coming over the back. Okay. Yeah, same. I wonder if we should sneak up to that. Yep. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, come back down. Come back down. We've just spotted him. We're gonna come across the hill and up to that gum tree up there. Well, that's Neil's first deer, so well done, Neil. We're just going to prep this up. We'll see you back up at the house. Okay, Neil's cleaned her up. I just showed him how to clean her. Makes her a lot lighter to carry. The only problem is Neil just cut his finger pretty bad. So now we've got to get back and get his finger cleaned up. Well, a very interesting hunting trip. As it turned out, Neil's finger, I don't know how he did it, but when he was cutting into the deer, somehow he managed to slip and he's cut right across his finger, his little finger down here, and he sliced right across to the bone. So we didn't get him to the doctor until the next day. He was quite okay with that. We went back, we got it all cleaned up, sterilised it, got it all bandaged up nice and tight. But he did end up getting 5 stitches the next day. So poor bugger. Anyway, he got his deer, so that was the main thing. This wet weather is continuing. That bit of footage that you saw just a second ago of that waterfall, that's where the water spills out from South Rona Dam, so she's well and truly overflowing at the moment. And that bit of the river, that's the Blythe River, just a couple of 100 metres above our block. And yeah, it's flooding quite well at the moment. You see the size of that log up against the bridge. And all the bridges all up and down the coast have logs pushed up against them and log jams. Everywhere we went there were signs of flooding and whatnot, so yeah, it's been really wet. As you can see, it's raining again now. I've got a couple of things I want to do up here today. One of those is get the bees fed, and I'd like to show you some of the comb that they're now building. They're building some nice big pieces of honeycomb, so we'll pull 1 or 2 of those out, but we needed to stop raining for that, so I'll wait for a break in the rain and then I'll show you that. In the meantime, I think I might just duck into the shed and do a little bit of tidy up. So as soon as this rain stops, we'll go down to the beehive. Okay, this back there, that's the last bit of gap that I need to fill up. And I do need to go around that post just in the corner as well. So what I've done was, I got one of these. They're a fantastic jig. Whatever you push it against, that's the shape that you get. So all I did was pushed it up against the corner here, or against this log. Like that. Measured the distance off to there, so I knew exactly where that needed to go. Then I was able to mark to account for the roundness of the log. All the other measurements were basically just measuring from the front of this board that's already down to the back edge where I needed it, because it isn't exactly straight. It actually widens out a little bit at the back. It's probably up by about 2 centimetres. over the whole 2 metres there, but that's nothing to really worry about. So when I marked the 2 corners, I ran a string line, marked that line, and so now I need to cut that. It is still raining outside. It's been raining for an hour or 2 now, hence why shoes are off because I don't want to traipse mud everywhere in here, obviously. But what I'll need to do is get this out. There is a bit of an awning out the front, as you've probably seen. I'll quickly get this cut off, and then I'll be able to bring it back in and yeah, see if it fits into place. We'll see how we go. And then, so it'll only do 1.8 metres, and then I'll have the back corner bit, which will come out the other half. And then that'll be the floor done, finally. Alright, so to combat the rain, not getting on the camera, I'm just filming through the window. So I've got the sawhorse there, I'll get the other one, move down, and I'll get that board out. Not quite. I need to take a little bit more off the edge here, unfortunately, so I will get that sorted out. Alright, that looks like it's going to fit. My only challenge at the moment though is trying to get this bit of yellow tongue to go in. So I might need to take it out, or I might need to and hammer it into this, I think. Put it into this piece. I'll give that a try. Alright, I need to take just the tiniest little bit from around there. I have to get that sorted out. But I want it to be tight, so I'm happy to do little cuts and you know, get it to fit in. I'd rather not take enough because I can shave it until it fits in nice. If I take too much, I've got a gap I've got to fill, so I'd much rather do it this way and just take little edges off it. Okay, I've got it in as best as I'm going to get it. Now, instead of nail gunning this one, I couldn't be bothered bringing the compressor down from up at the shed, the other shed. I'm just going to screw it down. So I'm just pre-drilling the hole out, because it is going into hardwood once it gets through the chipboard. There we go. Okay, this is the third time I've tried to get these bees fed. Every time I think I'm ready, it starts raining again. So hopefully it doesn't rain. So first thing I want to do is just get some sugar into them. Can't remember which side that container's on. I think it's down this end. No, it's up the other end. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, I've got the container down in there. That will keep them going for a day or two. And I'll show you some of these waxes that they're making. Look at that. Beautiful. You're getting a bit cranky. Get them closed up, because they are really cranky at the moment. I'm not sure why. Well, that was interesting. Now, I have heard that a queenless hive can be a very angry hive. They were really cranky just then. Now, that's the hive that I put the queen in that I got from the breeder, which would have been a really good queen. So hopefully that something hasn't happened to that queen. Fingers crossed. But I haven't been up here for well, I haven't checked the bees for probably 5 days, I guess. So yeah, something could have happened, but I'm not going to go through them all now. There's nothing I can do if the queen isn't there, so I'm just going to let them be, and I'll see how they are next time. Maybe on the next warm sunny day they're going to be okay. Maybe they're just cranky because they might have a bit of cabin fever. They've been cooped up in there for the last few days because it has rained and rained and rained, and they haven't had a chance to get out and feed or anything, so maybe that's why. But anyway, this is the other one. This is the swarm that I caught down at 4th, and I just need to give them a bit of sugar as well. No, much better behaved. Like I said, this is a good swarm, this one. Got high hopes for this one. So that's the bees fed, and thankfully the rain held off long enough. I'll get back up and get this other piece of flooring cut. Okay, let's see how well I did this time. We'll see if this fits in. Spot on. Happy days. So I'll just screw this one down now, and that's the floor finished. Okay, well, that's it for this episode, unfortunately. I know it's a short one. I know I said last week's one was a short one, and it wasn't when I finally got all the footage, but I definitely know this one is a short one. And the reason being, it's just been so wet. I've been very limited as to what I can do, and I do want to get the video out for you tomorrow, because I always try and release them at 3 p.m. every Friday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great weekend and a great week next week. Take care. I'll see you then, back up here on the block. Cheers.